Episode 4, Spring 195 BC. The Gauls remained a threat to Rome, which defended Massalia from their expansionist ambitions. Across the Mediterranean, Carthage was mustering its army. The Punic Senate reassured Rome of their good intentions. War preparations, however, were targeting the Macedonians. The rich island of Sicily and the southern regions of Italy were supplying Rome with grain. Yet the Eternal City had numerous armies spread along all its borders, and the costs were enormous. Publius Cornelius Scipio, father of Scipio Africanus, had been leading the Scipiones faction for over 25 years. Fearing an ambush, Scipio Africanus and the 2 legions he brought with him marched cautiously through Gallic territory. But no ambush appeared. Namassos fell, and the Bituriges tribe, loyal to Rome, was settled in the rich city of Central Gaul. Yet the Gauls were preparing their strike. They suddenly attacked the port of Genu. They were hidden, just not where Scipio was scouting. The city fell in a single day. In the north, Consul Tiburtus' campaign was not going as planned. Originally, Tiburtus was tasked with taking the citadel of Casurgis to restore a Suebi prince favorable to an alliance with Rome. The mission needed to be completed quickly so that his legions could be redirected to the Balkan borders. In fact, the truce with King Philip of Macedon was set to expire the following year. But the harsh winter of Central Europe slowed the unprepared 5th Legion, and the baggage train could not keep up. To counter the Gallic invasion of Liguria, the governor of Arretium hastily assembled a small force to block the road to Rome. He had to divert a great deal of funds, causing murmurs to ripple through the ranks of the Senate. The situation was deteriorating rapidly for Rome. Reports from spies sent to Philip's court foretold nothing good regarding the continuation of the truce. Scipio was desperately needed to prepare for the renewal of hostilities with the Macedonians. The general and his 2 legions had to carve a path with the tip of his sword through the Arverni war bands, retake Genu, and sail as quickly as possible to the Dalmatian coast. Easier said than done. The Arverni were blocking a bridge and had fortified positions on the far side of the river. Fortunately, Scipio's lightning march surprised the Gauls, who retreated. Dividing the enemy forces with night assault, the legionaries launched an attack on the heights defended by the Arverni warriors.
We conquer, we prevail, as our people have always done in war. Let the enemy think of defeat. The ancestors are watching, my brothers.
The exchange of volleys soon turned in favor of the Rhodian slingers brought onto the battlefield by the Romans. The rest came down to the discipline of the legionaries.
One of our units has used all its ammunition. The men are wavering.
Advance at speed! Ready and waiting. On my order! Withdraw! Come on now! Your orders! Orders! For riot! Tarantine cavalry!
Scipio finished the job, catching the fugitives across the plain, but he was still far from the tense frontier with Philip's kingdom. Worrying news continued to reach the Senate. A fleet had been sighted near Cape Methone, Greece, and the garrisons of Apollonia were drastically recruiting. Even more troubling, scouting parties sent by Decimus Junius Brutus, in charge of the Sigian garrison, reported that the two most powerful armies of the king were hiding in the mountains north of the Danube. Brutus immediately ordered the city to be prepared for a long siege. The legions were too far away. Rome needed to strike first. War was declared on Macedon. The Romans' only immediate advantage lay at sea. The combined fleets engaged the Macedonian navy, but failed to catch it. Urgent peace negotiations failed. From the ramparts of Sidon, Brutus awaited the hordes of Rome's enemies. Yet the strike came first at Epidamnos. After a brief assault, the city was once again taken by the Macedonians. Soon after, Philip and his armies besieged the great fortress of Sidon. Likely draining its last resources, the kingdom still managed to gather enough money to raise a small force to prevent a Roman assault on Apollonia. Winter 194 BC. Sidon. Conditions were particularly harsh for both defenders and besiegers, constantly harassed while foraging. The best troops of the kingdom were stuck in front of the mighty fortress walls. With land operations blocked by winter, the Roman fleets approached the harbor of Athens. The Macedonian fleet needed to be neutralized. Spring 193 BC. Scipio finally reached Genu and launched an assault to liberate the city, now occupied by the Arverni. The legions failed to intercept reinforcements for the Gallic garrison, which managed to fortify the hill near the sea. The assault claimed the lives of many brave, seasoned veterans. Yet eventually, the city returned to Roman control. Would the Romans' race to the front line be fast and furious enough to turn the tide of the war just beginning? That will be on the next episode.